This video introduces Part 5, which covers program expectations, discipline, daily activities, and nighttime care. Notes before starting. Except for definitions, records and transportation, all rule numbers are new. We have two heading above each rule. Amended equals the rule was changed. New rule equals the rule is new. Part 5 Program and Care. Part 6 Fire Safety. Part 7 Transportation are included in this video. Discipline Part 1 of 4, R 400.1942 amended. 1. A licensee shall develop, implement, and have on file a written policy regarding the age-appropriate, non-severe discipline of children. 3. Personnel and volunteers shall not do any of the following: a. Hit, spank, shake, bite, pinch, or inflict other forms of corporal punishment on a child. C. Restrict a child's movement by binding or tying the child. D. Inflict mental or emotional stress on a child, such as humiliating, shaming, threatening a child, or using derogatory remarks. This amendment requires homes to implement a written policy for age-appropriate, non-severe discipline. It adds volunteers to the individuals from using prohibited forms of discipline. Discipline Part 2 of 4, R 400.1942 New Rule and amended. 3. Personnel and volunteers shall not do any of the following. F. Exclude a child from outdoor play or other gross motor activities. This does not prohibit redirecting a child during these activities as a strategy that helps prevent challenging behaviors before they escalate or continue. G. Exclude a child from daily learning experiences. H. Isolate a child in an adjacent room, closet, locked room, box, hallway, darkened area, play area, or any other area where the child cannot be seen or supervised. This section adds new prohibited practices, including excluding children from outdoor play, excluding them from daily learning activities, and isolating a child in spaces where they cannot be seen or supervised. Discipline Part 3 of 4, R 400.1942 New Rule. 4. Timeout must only be used in combination with instructional approaches that teach children what to do in place of the behavior problem. B. Staff must remain calm when placing the child in timeout. This new rule clarifies that timeout may only be used alongside instructional strategies that teach alternative behaviors. Staff must remain calm when using timeout. Discipline Part 4 of 4, R 400.1942 amended. 5. A non-severe and developmentally appropriate restraint for an enrolled child with special behavioral or mental health issues may be used when reasonably necessary, based on a child's development, to prevent a child from harming himself or herself or to prevent a child from harming other persons or property, excluding those forms of punishment prohibited by Subrule 3 of this rule. The plan for when the restraint should be initiated, the actual use of the restraint such as holding the child as gently as possible, and timed use of the restraint, must be developed in collaboration with the parent or guardian, with the parent or guardian giving final approval of the plan. 6. This rule is not subject to the variance specified in R 400.1908. This amendment allows only non-severe, developmentally appropriate restraint and only when needed to prevent harm. A written plan, developed with and approved by the parent or guardian, must outline when and how restraint may be used. Daily Activity Program, R 400.1943 amended. 1. Staff shall engage in positive interactions with children. For infants and toddlers, interactions may include, but are not limited to, both of the following. 4. Media must be limited to not more than 2 hours per day and to programs designed for children's education, enjoyment, or both. Other activities must be available to children during television and movie viewing. 5. Media with violent or adult content, including soap operas, must not be allowed in child use space while children are in care. 6. Media used by children in care must be suitable to the age of the child in terms of content and length of use. 7. For children with a disability, a licensee shall work with the parents, medical personnel, or other relevant professionals to provide care in accordance with the child's identified needs and learning supports. This amendment updates terminology to staff and replaces older media terms with the comprehensive term media. Nighttime care, Part 1 of 2, R 400.1944 amended. 1. In a child care home where children are in care between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m., not more than 2 adjoining floor levels may be used at any one time for children in care who are sleeping. 3. Child care homes shall not use a third or higher floor as a resting or sleeping area for children in care unless there are 2 stairways to ground level. 4. If nighttime care is provided for more than 1 hour, then children shall sleep in age-appropriate cribs, portable cribs, mats, cots or beds. Play yards are not allowed for nighttime care. This update clarifies that no more than 2 adjoining levels may be used for sleeping between midnight and 5 a.m. for children who are sleeping. It also updates language about approved sleeping equipment and states that play yards may not be used for nighttime sleep. Nighttime care. Part 2 of 2, R 400.1944 New Rule, 5. A child shall be allowed to go back to sleep when dropped off during any nighttime care hours. This video introduces the final sections of the rules, covering fire safety requirements and transportation standards. Heat-producing equipment. R 400.1945 amended. 1. All fuel-fired and heat-producing equipment must be maintained in a safe condition and shielded to protect against burns. This sub-rule applies to all of the following. 2. Combustible materials and equipment must not be stored within at least 3 feet of furnaces, other flame or heat-producing equipment, or fuel-fired water heaters. 6. For outdoor wood stoves or open-air wood boilers, the initial installation inspection by a local heating or mechanical inspector must meet the requirements of this rule. This amendment updates terminology to fuel-fired, reduces clearance requirements from 4 feet to 3, and requires outdoor wood heating systems to meet inspection standards. Exits for each floor level. R 400.1947 amended. 1. A child care home shall have not less than 2 remotely located exits for every floor level occupied by children. 3. A window may be used as a second exit if it complies with all of the following. A. Is accessible to children, personnel, and volunteers. D. Is of a size and design to allow for the evacuation of all children, personnel, and volunteers. 5. All exits must be unobstructed and accessible at all times that children are in care. This update requires at least 2 remotely located exits on every floor used for child care and adds volunteers to those who must be able to access escape windows. Exits must remain unobstructed whenever children are in care. Transportation. Part 1 of 2, R 400.1951 amended. 4. If the driver will have unsupervised access to children or counted in child-to-staff ratios, the driver shall complete a comprehensive background check and be determined eligible by the department in compliance with Section 5N of the Act, MCL 722.115N. 7. Each child transported shall remain seated and properly restrained by a child passenger restraint device appropriate for the child's age. The manufacturer's rated seating capacity for the vehicle must not be exceeded. Transportation. Part 2 of 2, R 400.1951 New Rule, 10. If the driver is counted in child-to-staff ratios, the driver shall comply with R 400.1923* and R 400.1924. New hire training and professional development. This new rule states that if a driver is counted in child-to-staff ratios, they must meet new hire training and professional development requirements, just like other staff. End of Parts 5 to 7. This concludes the end of Part 5 Program and Care, Part 6 Fire Safety, and Part 7 Transportation.